First and foremost, I want to say thank you to my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. If it wasn't for him, this wouldn't be possible. Low Nose Boxing. Hit the like button, share the video, leave a comment, subscribe. I want to talk about Bruce Shoo Shoo Carrington. Bruce Shoo Shoo Carrington comes from Brooklyn, New York, from Brownsville. Brownsville, Brooklyn, New York has produced the best fighters from New York, hands down. The lineage of Brownsville boxing. We're talking about Iron Mike Tyson, the youngest undisputed heavyweight champion of all time, the youngest undisputed champion of all time at only 20 years old. We're talking about Riddick Bowe, heavyweight champion, undisputed. We're talking about Shannon Briggs. We're talking about Super Duper Zab Judah from Brownsville, Brooklyn, New York, right? And we're talking about Bruce Shoo Shoo Carrington. Bruce Shoo Shoo Carrington, to me, is probably the most skilled fighter out of all of the young up-and-coming fighters that I've seen right now in this generation. We have some young, good fighters that are coming up. Shout out to Sanders Ayaz. Shout out to Keyshawn Davis. Shout out to another Boricua by the name of El Falcon, right? But Shoo Shoo Carrington stands out. He seems like the most complete fighter out of all of the young guns today. Shoo Shoo Carrington kind of reminds me of a combination of Tommy Hearns and James Lights Out Tony. He even looks a little bit like Tommy Hearns, right? Shout out to another young fighter by the name of Dominic Crowder, another highly skilled fighter that looks like Mark Grillen, right? Shoo Shoo Carrington reminds me of Thomas Hitman Hearns and James Toney. He has that long jab, he got that old school style, he uses his feints, but he got that inside work. He could stay inside the pocket and effortlessly slip punches, catch punches, and come back with sharp counters on the inside. He could fight on the outside. He could systematically break you down, and he could knock you out in a highlight reel fashion. Bruce Carrington is the truth. Even though he hasn't even been there with an elite level fighter off the eye test, I'm backing his play 1000%. Shoo Shoo Carrington has old school skills. He comes inside and he epitomizes what you call swimming and not getting wet. The way he rolls on the inside and comes with those short counter punches, and then he can stand on the outside and stick you with that left jab and come over your jab with a straight right hand. He's highly skilled. Shoo Shoo Carrington is a fighter that will be fast-tracked into a world championship before 20 fights. Mark my words. I've seen this story before. Inoue, the monster, is a top 3 pound-for-pound fighter. In my opinion, I have him at number 3 behind Terrence Crawford and behind Alexander Usyk, right? Inoue has carved out a Hall of Fame career, right? But Inoue doesn't have a big name under his resume. Even though he does have solid fighters. He did beat Nonito Donaire, but Nonito Donaire was past his prime. He did beat Stephen Fulton, but he hasn't fought in America yet. To be a true world champion superstar in boxing, you gotta fight in the United States of America and dominate, like Manny Pacquiao did, like Triple G did, like Canelo did, like Chavez did, like all these foreign fighters did. They came to America and they dominated. Inoue has to show that he's capable of doing that, which brings me to Bruce Shoo Shoo Carrington. This kind of reminds me of when Vasyl Lomachenko was a top 3 pound-for-pound fighter, and you had a young, hungry stud and Teofimo Lopez who was calling out Vasyl Lomachenko. Lomachenko told Teofimo Lopez, go get a belt, go become a world champion. And when Teofimo Lopez knocked out Richard Comey in electrifying fashion, Lomachenko showed up and told Teofimo Lopez, welcome to my club. And we know what happened after that. So with that being said, Inoue showed up to Madison Square Garden. He acknowledged Bruce Carrington, and they displayed mutual respect. Bruce Carrington bowed in a Japanese manner, which is a sign of respect to Inoue. But make no mistake about it, when that fight happens, Bruce Shushu Carrington and Inoue are going to go in there and they're going to do everything they can to demoralize each other. And if there's any fighter that I believe is capable of dethroning Inoue, it's definitely Bruce Shushu Carrington. It remains to be seen how that's going to play out. So with that being said, hit the like button, share the video, leave a comment, subscribe to my channel, Low Nose Boxing, because I already know my stuff. I already know my boxing. Shout out to Shushu, shout out to Brooklyn, shout out to Inoue, shout out to boxing. I'm out.